what's bull?
Feeding birds. I have a bird feeder in my backyard. I don't know why it's there. Every now and then I put bird seed in it, and the next day it's all gone. Why do I bother? I could have gone weeks without filling the damn thing, and the birds always manage to come back. So they're obviously not starving to death. Why do I feed them? They don't feed me. I can tell you that for damn sure.
Yeah, I'll let you know the day a cardinal flies in and brings me a sandwich. Birds do nothing for me. They come, eat the food, and leave all over my patio. These are spoiled too. I could just throw the bird seed out into the yard, but they get it all in this nice little feeder that hangs up in a tree where they like it. How about the hummingbird? The hummingbird is like the rich snob who only dines at the finest restaurants. This won't settle for the plain ordinary bird seed. Oh no, instead, a specially made concoction of sugar and water, and if that's not enough, it has to be inside a very specific container. Want me to come pull out a chair for you birds, put the napkin in your lap for you, bring out some of my best wine so you can taste them and spit them in my face? Only reason I feed the birds is because the cats like watching them. Yeah, they're entertaining, aren't they? Well, some bird species on this planet have very amusing names. Supposedly, there's a bird called a red-footed booby. Yeah, I don't believe it either. There's also Dick Sizzle, Turtis, and all these tit names like Brown Tit Babbler, Pendulum Tits, Agile Tit Tyrant, and Great Tit. Oh, that can't be real. That's bull.
You know what's bull? Warranties. You go to the store, you buy something, say a pair of speakers for your computer, the cashier asks you if you want to buy a warranty with it. That should cover against malfunction or defects or whatnot. You say, no. What's the point anyway? If you take out the box and there's something wrong with it, you can usually return it anyway.
A warranty typically covers anything that may happen to it years from now, but if you drop it or damage it somehow accidentally, it won't cover that. No, only if it miraculously self-destructs on its own, and by the time it dies naturally, the warranty will be expired. One time I bought a video projector. The sales guy told me that the bulbs are really expensive and they cost hundreds of dollars to replace, so he sold me a warranty. He said that in case the bulb would burn out within 3 years, this warranty would entitle me to a replacement.
Sounded like a good plan. Well, just less than 3 years ago, the bulb burns out. So I take it back to the store with the warranty. None of the same people are working there anymore. They have no idea what I'm talking about.
I show them the warranty. The salespeople look at it. The cashiers look at it. The manager comes out and looks at it. Nobody has a clue. I tell them it's supposed to cover the bulb. If the bulb burns out, I get a new one. The manager thinks it over, scratches his head, and comes to the conclusion that the warranty only covers manufacturer defect, anything but the bulb, and that the warranty may have been different 3 years ago when I bought it.
3 years ago, I bought a piece of paper. They sold me a piece of paper that would have gone to better use if I wiped my ass with it. My receipt did no good either. It was now just a reminder to the money I wasted. And that's bull.
You know what's bull?
Grass. Not just any grass. Grass planted in high-level nutrient soil in a pasture or native rangeland with sufficient sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to produce photosynthetic tissue for the production of carbohydrates.
Fertilizer is applied early in the spring growth season. The C3 species of grass develop when temperatures are between 40 and 75 degrees and generate leaves that grow into tube-like rolls at their base and unfurl as they extend. The growth habits are nutritious forage to the livestock. A non-castrated adult male of the cattle species comes by and eats the grass.
The vegetative pillars are passed through the esophagus and ingested into the cattle's stomach, which consists of 4 compartments.
The rumen breaks down the food with the aid of bacteria. The partly digested food is passed onto the reticulum, where foreign materials are filtered out. The food passes through the omasum and then the abomasum, where it is fully digested with HCI acid. Then it goes into the small and large intestines, where it becomes.
The fecal matter causes the rectal walls to expand, triggering the contractions of the rectal muscles and relaxation of the sphincter. The crap is forced out of the rectum into the canal, where the muscles create wave-like movements that push the contents of the canal forward.
Finally, the contracts itself over the exiting feces, emptying the grass-turned turds out of the male cattle's onto the ground.
You know what that is? That's bull. Word pronunciations. The internet has joined the world together, and now everybody with all their different dialects and preferences gets to criticize each other for how they speak. A word that I cannot avoid using is review. I've always said review till everybody tells me it's review. Why would it be review? What about recap? Would you say recap, redo, recall, rehire, regroup, reappear, reenact? Why is it so strange to say review? The prefix re means to do again. You're viewing something again for comment. You review it. Bury, that's the next one. What am I doing wrong this time? It's bury, but everyone else says bury. It's spelled with a U. Why wouldn't it be bury? There is such a thing as bury, but that's a different word and is clearly spelled with an E, not to mention an extra R, which doesn't seem to affect anything. This is bury, that's bury. If we have two different words that mean two different things and spelled two different ways, why the don't we pronounce them two different ways? Why would anyone care anyway if I say review or bury? Are you confused? As long as you understand what I'm saying, what's the point of bringing so much attention to it? It's not important. However, if I took a word like walk and pronounced it like dysanthoplanoppius, then you might need to raise some questions. It doesn't matter because there's no consistency with pronunciations anyway. Oh, sorry, I should have said pronunciation. Well, then why do you pronounce a word? Why don't you pronounce it? I hate plural words. There's no rules. If the plural of pan is pans, then why the hell is there no such thing as mans? The plural of man is men. How about ox and oxen? Where'd they get that from? Why isn't it oxes? Like boxes. What's the plural of then? How about moose? What would you say if there's more than one moose? Mooses, right? No, it's just moose. Yeah, it's the same word. How about goose? Would you say there's a flock of goose? No, you say geese. That's just great. Well then you. Next time I see a bunch of moose, I'm gonna say, hey, look at all those mother meese. Don't tell me it's not a real word. It is. It is a word. I just said it. It should be on a damn shirt. What's up with mouse and mice? That makes no sense. Instead of house and houses, let's start saying house and heis. Booth, booths, tooth, tooths, sorry, teeth. Plurals. Silent letters too. How about the middle day of the week? It's spelled like Wednesday, but you pronounce it Wednesday. What's with the silent letters? Silent B, silent C, silent D, silent G, silent H, silent I, silent K, silent N, silent P, silent T, silent U, silent W. How about a silent... How about we'll pronounce our words however we want? Everybody's different. Talk the way you talk. Anybody who objects, shut the hell up, suck our... I've spent my whole life trying to learn the English language, and I'll never get it perfect, because it's bull.
Now what's bull?
Water, specifically the water that you drink. You need it to stay hydrated. When you're in public, you always end up having to buy bottled water, but there's so many different choices. It's just water. What's the deal? Have you ever read the back of the label? It should just say ingredients, water. But it isn't always just water, is it? Dasani water, which is made by the Coca-Cola company, contains additives. Magnesium sulfate, potassium chloride, salt, adds a negligible amount of sodium? Negligible or not, I don't want sodium added to my water. The whole point is to hydrate yourself, not get more thirsty. And I'm not a chemist, but I don't know what all that other stuff is for. Oh, there you go. Minerals added for taste. Ah, gotta love the taste of that magnesium sulfate and potassium chloride. And what's with the Dasani Drops flavor enhancer? On the ad on the website, it looks like period blood. At least you have plenty of different options whenever you're in a store. Here, you can make sure what you're buying is just plain water without any bull
added to it, but in most public places I've been taking notice, the only option is Dasani water. Seriously, go to a movie theater, anywhere, find water that isn't Dasani. It's not often. Dasani is everywhere, especially conventions and concerts, crowded, sweaty places where dehydration can be a serious problem. Why can't we have access to real water? I mean, come on, no other water besides Dasani? Coca-Cola bought out all these places and runs a monopoly on this basic human necessity. If they could find a way to buy the air we breathe and add chemicals to it, I bet they would. And that's bull.